Hello, and welcome to Charlie Puppet Podfics. Today, I will be doing a recording of T.A.G, the Assassin's Game, by the one with many names on AO3. This fanfic has 6,400 words and 5 chapters. This will be chapter 1. The summary is as follows. To get a better idea of underground heroics, Class 1A is playing T.A.G, the Assassin's Game. An elimination game where nowhere is safe, not even the dorms. How will the students handle the pressure, the betrayals? Will this be the end of any friendships, or the beginning of any new ones? Chapter 1. When Eraserhead entered his class, anyone not already sitting rushed to do so. Nobody wanted to be forced to stay behind on a Saturday, after all. However, as Aizawa scanned the room to make sure everyone was there, the heroes in training found the man in a suspiciously good mood. Alright, brats, starting Monday, we'll be doing one of my favorite activities, the underground hero said. T.A.G. A confused murmur echoed through the classroom. The kids' game? It seemed out of place for the man to like a simple children's game, or for them to be playing it at all. There had to be something more going on. It was pretty common for kids to use their quirks while playing, so it couldn't just be that, right? Oh no, this isn't the game you played in primary school. The hero's cool facade dropped to reveal a sadistic grin that they had all come to know and fear. It's much worse. T.A.G, the Assassin's Game. Shivers went down the student's spine. Aizawa seemed to revel in it. This is only one rule. You will be given a clip with a ribbon tied to it. This is your life. It must be visibly on your person at all time. If a teacher finds you are purposefully breaking this rule, you will be disqualified completely and all your points will be forfeit. There were a few unhappy grumbles, but the words were accepted easily enough. As you can probably tell by the name, the goal is to kill your opponents by stealing the ribbon. Some students shifted uncomfortably, but quickly settled as the teachers gazed up the classroom again. Do this however you like. Surprise attacks, distractions, whatever. Alliances are allowed at your own risk, given they could stab you in the back at any moment. Nowhere is safe, not even the dorms. A wave of outraged cries filled the room, silenced by the hero's quirk. When everyone had quieted, he blinked, letting his hair drop. Calm down. While this is technically extra credit, none of you are required to participate. I expect all of you to give this a shot. This is meant to measure your potential for many things essential to underground heroics: stealth, situational awareness, threat analysis. The teams seemed to brighten at the idea that this wouldn't have any negative impact on their grades, and a couple even seemed intrigued. Aizawa kept an eye on a few students that had previously expressed an interest to explore the more underground side of heroics. Points are awarded based on how long you last and how many kills you get. 1 point for every 15 minutes, and 300 points for every kill. The man could see several of his students' strategies change, plotting how best to play the long con. Too bad it would all be for naught, the moment they got a taste of what the game was really like. You only get awarded the points once you die, and yes, while you could accumulate points by agreeing to draw out the game, don't get too comfortable. Previous years have tried, after all, and it never lasted long. Someone always gets an itchy trigger finger. The heroes in training eye each other suspiciously. Good. Their best ally here will be paranoia. CC was available to make sure nobody would lose themselves in it, but wariness was an essential skill to practice in any sort of hero work. The game only ends with last man standing. The students began to relax, and Shota had to stifle his grin. Time for his favorite part. Oh, and by the way, the winner gets 1,000 extra points. An almost tangible aura of bloodlust flooded the room. He's looking forward to how his class is going to handle this. They have already experienced how it feels to be hunted, courtesy of the League of Villains. What about being hunted by each other? How will they handle being the ones doing the hunting? The inevitable betrayals. And unlike previous years, who at least had the escape of the end of the school day to look forward to, the dorms meant that they would have to be on guard 24/7. He was looking forward to seeing how his class would rise to the challenge. By Monday morning, 1A was at a boiling point. Almost everyone had spent their weekend planning, scrutinizing their classmates, and being scrutinized in turn. Predatory eyes scanned each other as they were told that the game would start at 8 a.m., with the bell that began first period, and that any kills should be immediately reported to the closest teacher as unobtrusively as possible. The air was tense as their teacher handed out bright yellow ribbons with their names written on them in red, tied to small binder clips so that one quick yank would be sufficient to remove them from their person. It seemed like the passing period was a held breath, every student at the edge of their seats. President Mike arrived for English, but made no attempt to get their attention. Finally, the bell rang. A beat passed. Then, with some unknown signal, chaos ensued. The teens leapt out of their seats, some towards the target, many more away. Quirks were flung about, filling the room with explosions, acid, ice, and many other projectiles, including a few school supplies. Everyone was screaming. Uraraka was dive-bombing people. Kaminari was able to pull Aoyama's ribbon from his collar with a yoink, but was immediately betrayed by Kirishima, who snatched the blonde's life off his blazer. After about 15 minutes, without any more kills, the class seemed to lose steam and settle back into their seats with weariness. Several students moved their ribbons to more easily defended areas of their body. The room was still more or less standing. A couple people were forced to kneel in front of their desks, having lost their chairs. Yamada took what he could get and began the lesson. Shortly after, Koda discreetly signaled another death. It looked like he had gotten a small rodent of some kind, hamster, chipmunk, to steal Kirishima's ribbon from his belt loop. The teacher gave a quick "understood" in JSL, but saw that a couple of the kids in the back row had noticed the exchange. Just as the man thought that nothing would come of it, Todoroki froze the student to the right of him, Sato, with a twitch of his finger. He then leaned over and casually pulled the other's ribbon off his tie before beginning to thaw the brunette out. It almost seemed like another all-out brawl would break out, but after a moment, President Mike continued his lesson, and the class seemed to settle for being paranoid. Then, Uraraka took advantage of Ida's distraction with his notes and launched herself at the taller. This time, she was able to koala herself to her target's back and yank his ribbon off his shirt, smoothly dismounting as he toppled to the ground and raising it in her fist with a war cry like it was her enemy's still beating heart. Fear rolled through the room for a second. No one moved. Uraraka offered her victim a hand up, and the anxiety in the room eased back to only slightly above average. These students had certainly taken Plus Ultra to heart, giving an intensity to everything presented to them. Yamada was, and wasn't surprised that the class was able to eliminate a fifth of the group already in only the first period of the day. A fourth, he corrected himself after Koda gently brought his attention to another ribbon, Sero's, still off his pant leg. Those are the quiet ones. Eliminated. Yuga Aoyama, 0 points. Rikido Sato, 2 points. Tenya Ida, 3 points. Hanata Siro, 4 points. Denki Kaminari, 300 points. Ijiro Kirishima, 301 points. So that's it for Chapter 1. Please go support the author in AO3. The link will be in the description, and I hope you stick around for more.